Can't Wait for Christmas is a proud member of the Christmas Podcast Network.
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
Is it Christmas yet?
No, sorry, not yet.
I can't wait for Christmas.
Yeah, I can't wait for Christmas either. In fact, let's celebrate now.
Welcome to the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast.
It's December 15th, 2025, and that means there's just 10 days until Christmas. Today on the show, we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of A Charlie Brown Christmas with Peanuts Senior Vice President of Global Brand and Communications and host of the You Don't Know Peanuts podcast, Melissa Menta. I've also got a fun Christmas playdate idea for you, and I'll count down the top 5 Christmas songs I've discovered thanks to this podcast. Okay, let's start the show! Greetings, Yule Believers, and welcome to the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast, the podcast all about Christmas history, Christmas traditions, Christmas media, and everything else Christmas. I'm your host, stand-up comic, and two-time podcast movie writer, Tim Babb. Yes, we are officially in the thick of the Christmas season, and I am loving it. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the flavors, the music, the movies, it's all around, and it's amazing as always. I hope you've been tuning in to our made-for-podcast Christmas movie, A Bomb for Christmas 2, Past, Present, and Future, as part of our 10th anniversary celebration this year. I can't say enough great things about the cast, both our returning champs and our new additions. Now, maybe you've never listened to A Bomb for Christmas 1 back in 2020 and you feel like you'll be lost. Don't worry. Because time travel features prominently in the sequel, you get to experience everything you need to about the first movie so that our hero can learn about the twist that wasn't revealed in the first movie. A Bomb for Christmas Tuesdays continue with Act 4 tomorrow, December 16th, and then the big finale is on December 23rd, which means there's only 2 Tuesdays until Christmas. Nevertheless, I need a little Christmas now. We need a little So if you're a parent, you know the stress of planning play dates. When I was a kid, there was no such thing. You just went over to your friend's house to play, or they came over to your house and you just did whatever. You go to the park, whatever. But now you got to organize mini events to get the kids together, and it can be daunting sometimes. But my youngest had an idea for a Christmas-themed play date that we did just the other weekend that went pretty well. He invited some friends from school over to make gingerbread houses. There wasn't a ton of planning that went into it, and I think everyone had a lot of fun. But let's find out. Let's ask my son, James. James, come on in.
Hello.
James, did you enjoy your gingerbread houses making party?
Yes, I did. It was fun.
Did it bother you that we didn't use gingerbread but actually graham crackers?
Well, I don't know. I haven't eaten my gingerbread house yet. I don't know if it affects the flavor because I didn't eat it.
And how long ago was that?
Last Saturday.
So it's been a week and you still haven't eaten your gingerbread house?
Nope. And there is fresh. No, well, not fresh. Since it's been sitting out for a week and a day, there is unfresh Oreo stuff sitting there that looks vaguely like a birch tree.
Talk about that. So you used Oreo stuff and shaped it into
a birch tree, yes.
Very specific.
Well, because the wood is white, so, it has to be birch.
Oh. What candies did you find go best on gingerbread houses?
So not the ones we bought, but...
So nothing we got.
Yeah, because ours tasted like toothpaste and hot tamales gone wrong.
So what would have been the go-to?
It's have you ever seen a one of those things where they make a gingerbread house? Oh yeah, in the Bomb for Christmas 1, they had the gingerbread house making contest. I am 99% sure that someone used gumdrops in that competition.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So we should have gotten gumdrops. Is the long way around your track?
We did get gumdrops, but they tasted like toothpaste and a hot tamale that got run over by a dust car.
All right. Now level with me. You made what you called a Zen garden, which was just graham crackers mashed into crumbs in front of your house. Was that really on purpose, or did you accidentally smash a cracker?
No! It wasn't graham crackers.
What was it?
You know Auntie Bets, when she got us those Patrick and
SpongeBob?
cookies that you could decorate with little markers.
Uh-huh.
I had to cut off the edges of those so it would be a square.
Oh, and so that was cookie remnants.
Yes.
I thought for sure you just smashed a graham cracker while I was out of the room and you're like, oh, it's a Zen garden now.
No.
Oh, all right. What would you say was the best part of it?
Looking at other people's builds. Like one of my friends made Pebble from Dandy's World.
And what would you change if we did it again next year?
Probably get a kit so it wouldn't keep falling away.
So it doesn't keep falling apart?
Yeah. One of my friends is going to have a hard time eating her gingerbread house because it has a milk carton in it.
You just eat around the milk carton. Pull it off the milk carton and eat it.
But
Yum, yum.
then it doesn't look like a house anymore.
Well, you also, when you eat it, it doesn't look like a house anymore because it has bite marks.
How I'm going to eat my house, I'm going to eat one tree, and then the second tree, and then the Zen garden, and then the drawbridge string, the drawbridge door, and then, did I put anything? I don't remember putting anything in the back, so I'm going to eat the back door then, and then I'm going to eat the two doors, the two tents.
Anything else you want to add about the party?
Make sure to get good ingredients and maybe follow some sort of like recipe on how to actually build it so it doesn't come crumbling down if you sneeze too daintily around it. And also, if it looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, maybe add some new supports. It's gonna fall if you don't do something.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Well, thank you, James. And if you want to have your own gingerbread house making play date, you don't have to be a kid. This can work for any age. You can use graham crackers like we did, or buy some of those pre-made gingerbread house kits. They look more authentic, but does anyone ever actually eat those things? Those cookies are older than this podcast. Fun tip my mom thought of, she grabbed some cutting boards from the local dollar store so everyone could build their house on the cutting board and then just take the whole cutting board and house home. The only downside is that the kids ate so much of the building materials, aka candy and frosting, that I think they only just stopped bouncing off the walls an hour before I started recording. But that's a small price to pay for some festive fun with friends. Now let's move on to our next segment, 5 Golden Things.
5 golden things.
Since I started this podcast way back in 2015, I've covered a lot of Christmas topics. Movies, traditions, food, history, a lot of the stuff I say in the intro. But there's one thing that comes around a lot, and it's music. I've shared a lot of different Christmas music with you over the past decade, and quite frankly, some of it I had never heard of before doing this show. Whether I stumbled upon these songs because of research I was doing, or one of you sent them in, I've gotten to experience a lot of new songs that I didn't know existed before. So, as part of our continuing anniversary celebration, I thought I'd look back and count down the top 5 Christmas songs I've discovered because of this show. Starting with... Number 5. Christmas is All Around, Billy Mack.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Christmas is all around me, and so the feeling grows.
Now, I say Billy Mack, but the song's actually sung by actor Bill Nye from the movie Love Actually. I've spoken about this a few times, how much I unironically love this song that is supposed to be a satire of soulless musical cash grabs at Christmas. But it just works for me, and I would never have discovered this song if I hadn't decided to watch Love Actually for the podcast. I'd never seen the movie, and it was on one Christmas while I was flipping through channels, and I thought, I've never seen this. I should do this for the podcast. And while I really haven't rewatched the movie since that episode, I have listened to this song at least once a month ever since. What a gem.
Number 4.
It's Christmas time again, Backstreet Boys.
That's when it's Christmas time again. La-ta, 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 la-ta. It's Christmas time again.
Many years ago, listener Amy wrote in and suggested I do a segment on 90s boy bands' Christmas music. So, in 2020, I did a 5 Golden Things of boy bands' Christmas songs, and this one was at number 1. I'll admit I haven't revisited it as often as Love Is All Around or some of the others on this list, but it does make for some great Christmas music. As I said on that episode, it hits all the right notes for boy band nostalgia and Christmas nostalgia. So this is just a good song, and I'm glad I discovered it, so thank you, Amy.
Number 3.
I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, Lake Street Dive.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. No crocodiles, no rhinoceroses. I only like hippopotamuses, and hippopotamuses like me too.
Back in July of 2022, listener Bob sent in a list of tropical Christmas songs for our 7th anniversary show. There were many great songs on the list, but this one stuck out with me the most. As I said on the episode, I'm not a huge fan of the original I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas song. It's alright, it's just not my go-to when I'm looking for a Christmas song to listen to. Additionally, I can't say I seek out a lot of samba music in my music listening life, but you put these two sounds together and I'm 1,000% on board. I want to say it's kind of like you put your chocolate in my peanut butter, or you put my peanut butter in my chocolate, and you have the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, but it's like if you put two things I didn't really care that much about together and then came up with a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I don't know, it's more than the sum of its parts, and I love it.
Number 2.
12 Days of Christmas in the Christmas Can, Straight No Chaser.
On the 12th day my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming like Olympus above the Serengeti. 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a-leaping.
Way back in 2016, listener Marion sent me a list of her favorite versions of the 12 Days of Christmas, and of course it included the version by Straight No Chaser. This is a great version both musically and because it's so funny. Little did I know that I would eventually get to talk with members of the group like I got to do back on our November 25th episode. And I'm also including their song Christmas Can in the same entry.
Run to your closet, find your Christmas sweater, screaming carols all the way. Maine, all the way to California, it's the Christmas Can Halloween to Christmas Day.
It's a great mashup of Christmas songs with hilarious lyrics. I play it so often that when I open YouTube, 9 times out of 10, it assumes that's what I want to play, so it suggests it. And I never would have found these songs or this great a cappella group were it not for this podcast, and specifically Marion, so thank you, Marion.
Honorable mentions.
Taking Care of Christmas, Randy Bachman.
And we'll be taking care of Christmas every day. Taking care of Christmas every way. We'll be taking care of Christmas, doing it right. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
This might be recency bias, so I'm plopping this in honorable mentions, but earlier this year I did a top 5 list of regular songs made into Christmas songs. While I was researching that topic, I was surprised to find how many were the original artists making a Christmas version of their own hit. And that includes this version by Randy Bachman of Bachman Turner Overdrive. I definitely added this to my Christmas playlist, and even used it in a time-lapse TikTok of me sending out my Christmas cards this year.
Number 1.
You Meet the Nicest People, Andy Williams.
You meet the nicest people everywhere around Christmas time.
Happy holiday.
You meet the nicest people just like everyone here.
Happy holiday.
I definitely stan Andy Williams. So much so I did a whole feature segment on his life and career back in 2018. But well before that, I was looking into his background because I love Most Wonderful Time of the Year and Happy Holidays holiday season. And I wanted to see what else he had created for Christmas. That's when I found this song. He never released it as a single or even on an album, he just sang it in one of his specials, but I love the message. It's about how everyone seems happier and more kind and friendly at Christmas time. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could treat each other like that every day of the year? And what a great concept, what a great notion, and what a great execution, and what a lovely, lovely song. I kind of felt like the message of this song was the subconscious theme of this whole podcast. So that's why this is at number 1. And that's my list. Normally I'd ask you to write in with your suggestions, but how are you going to tell me what other songs I discovered during this podcast?
You can have them tell you what songs they've discovered from your podcast.
Thanks, imaginary listener. Sounds kind of like Kermit the Frog.
It's Carl!
If I've made you aware of any new Christmas songs somewhere over the last decade, let me know. Email me at can'twaitforchristmaspod@gmail.com or drop a comment on the website or on our socials media. Now let's get to our next segment. All I Want for Christmas is News.
Baby, all I want for Christmas is news. Yeah. Give me that news, baby. Yeah, news.
So my oldest son, who hadn't even started school when this podcast began, is now in high school. And as part of his high school duties, he helps with a weekly news broadcast at his school. So I figured, why let those skills go to waste? I'll turn over the reading of today's news story to Michael. Take it away, Michael.
The United States Postal Service has announced the recommended send-by dates for extended delivery before December 25th. These dates are coming up fast, so hopefully you are listening to this the day it drops, December 15th. For shipping to the lower 48 states, the deadline for Ground Advantage is December 17th. For first-class mail, it's also December 17th. For Priority Mail, it's December 18th. And for Priority Mail Express, you have until December 20th. Now, for shipping to Hawaii and Alaska, the only difference is that Ground Advantage is a day earlier, December 16th. International shipping has different deadlines too, and there will be a link to the UPS holiday shipping deadlines in the show notes of this episode at can'twaitforchristmaspod.com. Back to you, Dad.
Thank you, Michael. Now, normally right here, I would play a commercial for one of the other podcasts in the Christmas Podcast Network. But I've been such a busy bee out there promoting A Bomb for Christmas too that I've been a guest on a lot of these shows, and I want to share them now and formally thank them for having me on. For the first time this year, I got to be a guest on the Cozy Christmas podcast, and we talked about how the Grinch stole Christmas. It was a great time reminiscing with Art, and I got to mention a lot of stuff that I didn't have time for when we did an episode on the Grinch back in September. I also got to make a return trip to the Totally Rad Christmas podcast to talk about the Mickey Mouse Club Christmas special. I was a huge MMC fan back in the day, so this was some great nostalgia for me. Plus, when Jerry books me on his show, he's nice enough to pair me with A Bomb for Christmas's Captain Willis himself, Mike Westfall, which always makes for a good time for me and great listening for you. Speaking of Mr. Westfall, I will soon be on his podcast, and by soon, I mean Christmas Eve. I was lucky enough to join him for the 200th episode of the Advent Calendar House podcast. I don't know if I'm allowed to say which holiday special we talked about since the episode hasn't dropped yet, but let's just say prior to recording this episode, my only connection to this special was a really bad movie from the 90s. Hopefully that doesn't give it away, but I think I'm technically safe because Mike didn't actually have me sign an NDA. And closing it out with a few non-Christmas podcasts, Mike and I teamed up again as guest stars on the Insert Reference Here podcast, where we talked about the Muppet Family Christmas. And finally, I was a guest on The Sweep Spot, the #1 unofficial Disneyland podcast hosted by 2 former custodial cast members. Lynn and Ken were nice enough to invite me on to talk about Christmas at Disneyland. Now, obviously, that is a topic I love, and I could talk about it for hours, but it was great getting their insight on it as former cast members. So you should definitely check that out. In fact, you should check all of them out. I'll put links to all of those shows in the show notes of this episode at can'twaitforchristmaspod.com. Now let's get to our main feature today. As I've mentioned ad nauseum this year, it's our 10th anniversary. And the feature segment on our very first episode, way back in 2015, was about the special A Charlie Brown Christmas, which was celebrating its 50th anniversary back then. But now the special is turning 60. And for the symmetry of it, I was trying to figure out how to talk about the special again. Fortunately, I was able to convince Melissa Menta, Peanuts Senior Vice President of Global Brand and Communications and host of the You Don't Know Peanuts podcast, to join us to provide some official insight on the special that I wasn't able to give as a Christmas podcast noob back in 2015. Melissa, welcome to the Christmas Cave.
Thank you for having me to the Christmas Cave.
Like I was saying before we started recording, I appreciate you taking time. I know, this is a busy time of year just because it's the holidays, but with the Charlie Brown Christmas celebrating its 60th anniversary, I'm sure you have a lot to do right now.
Yes, I would say I'm always busy because Peanuts keeps us busy 365, but the fall time period from when the Halloween special is top of mind to the Christmas special, we call the Super Bowl season of Peanuts.
So the Burr months have a totally different connotation for you.
Yes.
So I think I need to have a talk with my high school guidance counselor because I didn't realize that you could be the head of global communications for Peanuts. Like, how did you end up here?
Well, I sort of have a niche in that I've often worked for brands that have really famous characters. So I first started working at the Jim Henson Company when I was early in my career in publicity. And then I fast forward in the dot-com bubble of 1999, I worked at a well-known internet company called Pets.com. And so when the bubble burst, the Pets.com sock puppet was sort of like the symbol of the failure of the dot-com bubble. But it actually was successful for me because I did the publicity for the Pets.com sock puppet, and pretty much everybody who lived during that time knows who the puppet was. And when Charles Schulz died at the height of the puppet's popularity, a friend of mine texted me and said, "Hey, I work at Peanuts now. We love the Pets.com sock puppet. We would love to work with you guys." And fast forward, when Pets.com busted, which we did bust, that same friend said, "Hey, we're hiring at Peanuts." So here I am.
Oh, that's so something really good came out of Pets.com.
Yes, for me, Pets.com was a huge success.
Well, I mean, obviously, I mean, you could not be a cooler person to have on this show because we are huge Muppet fans here. We have a thing in November. We call it Muppet-vember. We make sure to take time to celebrate the Muppets every November. And of course, our very first episode of this podcast back in July of 2015 was about a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Well, it's too bad you didn't have one on Pets.com sock puppet either, because Pets.com sock puppet celebrated Christmas too.
Oddly enough, I mean, if only there was like a Pets.com Christmas special or a carol.
Themed ads, though. There really were. There were Christmas themed ads.
Well, you know what? I'll have to search those out.
Yeah.
Now, I was talking about this with I was saying like, oh, I get to talk to the head of Peanuts communication tomorrow, and I was talking to my mom and my family about it, and I was like, I don't know why they're called peanuts, like. And it led to a whole thing about how peanuts are not actually nuts. They're legumes, and like neither are almonds and neither are cashews. None of these things that we think of are nuts are actually nuts. But that's a weird side tangent that we got off into. But like peanuts do not, like the actual legume does not feature in the comic strip. Why are they called peanuts?
Well, unfortunately, Charles Schulz never liked the name Peanuts himself. So when he wanted to draw a comic strip and he submitted it to different news syndicates around the U.S., to see if he could get picked up as a syndicated comic strip. United Feature Syndicate picked it up. He wanted it to be, I believe there were a number of different names that he wanted it to be, but they were too close to other popular comic strips at the time. So the syndicate named it Peanuts, and he fought and fought and fought for it not to be Peanuts, but they insisted, and that name has sort of stuck. However, in different countries, Peanuts doesn't really resonate or mean anything. So in some countries, the brand is called Snoopy.
Oh, that makes sense. I feel because Snoopy is definitely the brand, the mascot of the franchise.
He's definitely the most loved, like in merchandise for sure. He's the number one, but everybody has a different character that they love just as much. I mean, there's plenty of people who would say Charlie Brown is their favorite. I like to say Sally is my favorite. If you relate to the characters because of their personalities, you say that character is your favorite. It's just universally known that everyone loves Snoopy.
Right. It's again similar to the Muppets. Like Kermit is definitely the brand, mascot of the Muppets. But I personally love Fozzie or Gonzo. But then there's all the different characters have different. They resonate with people for their different reasons.
There's also the rats. Don't forget the rats.
Yeah, but you still know, look, this is the guy on the masthead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I was listening to your podcast, which you co-host, called "You Don't Know Peanuts," where you had, I'm blanking on his name, Lee Mendelssohn's son on.
Jason Mendelsohn.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew I had his last name right. But you had him on to talk about the Charlie Brown Christmas last year. And I was surprised to learn that Willie Mays had played a role in that special becoming a thing. I was wondering if you could talk to us about that.
Yeah, sure. So Lee Mendelssohn was a native of San Francisco Bay Area,
whoop, whoop.
Which is similar. So am I.
Same here.
Which is similar to Willie Mays and Charles Schulz. And Lee did a documentary on Willie Mays. And after he had done that documentary and won all these awards, he was like, I just did a documentary on the most famous baseball player in the world. Now I should do the most famous comic strip creator as well, who lives in Santa Rosa, California. So he introduced himself to Charles Schulz, who we call Sparky. We never call him Charles. And created a documentary that actually never aired, called You Don't Know Charlie Brown, but you can see it if you go to the Charles M. Schulz Museum in Santa Rosa, California. It's a really fascinating documentary that just sort of gives you a little insight into Sparky's life and what it was like to draw a comic strip for 50 years every day.
And like he didn't want to do the documentary. Can I call him Sparky? I feel like I never interacted with
call him Charles. It doesn't work.
Okay.
You can call him Schultz if you want, but Schultz or Sparky.
Okay, well, all right, I'll do it. I'll call him Sparky, because he was, he was like, look, I have my comics, I have control over the comics, I don't want to venture into other media. And then Lee mentioned, let's say Lee, like we were friends, mentioned that he had just done this documentary with Willie Mays, and Sparky was also a big fan of Willie Mays, and they sort of bonded over that.
I think that's what really cemented the relationship for sure.
But then, like you said, so the documentary, they eventually made one, but it was shelved because the networks didn't want to, they didn't feel like they had a place for it.
Yes.
And it was only because there was an article in, I noticed that Time Magazine plays a role in this special twice. Time Magazine had written an article about Sparky, and Coke saw it. And they're like, we want to do something with Charles Schulz.
Yes, they were the original sponsor of A Charlie Brown Christmas.
And they somehow got in contact with Lee Mendelson, and they asked him if he had something for Christmas, and how did the whole thing go down?
From what I recall, Lee said, "Of course we have something," but he didn't. So on the side, he called Sparky and said, "We have to write a Christmas special." I think they wrote it in a weekend. Bill Melendez, who animated the special, flew up from Southern California, and the three of them created A Charlie Brown Christmas.
In a weekend?
Yes.
It's a beloved thing 60 years later, and they're just like, let's just bang this out in a weekend.
I know, it's kind of extraordinary.
When you think of like creative endeavors that you've done and you've poured over them for months and hours, and but like they're like a weekend legendary thing that will outlive all of us.
I mean, that just shows to me Peanuts will outlive all of us in so many different ways. A Charlie Brown Christmas is one of them, but the comic strip itself. And I think that's just a testament to the genius of Charles Schulz, and what he created, and that it's just something that is timeless. And when people say, oh, it's 75 years, how much longer do you think it'll last? I think it'll last decades and decades and decades to come.
Yeah, because like you say, people can relate to the characters, and it's always like everybody, like doesn't matter what your background is, there's something you can latch onto in Peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of tight turnarounds, they decided they needed lyrics for one of the Vince
Guaraldi.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, created this wonderful score for the special, but they decided they needed a song to have lyric. They needed a theme with lyrics. And because the turnaround was tight, like I think Lee Mendelson reached out to the Sherman Brothers and other people, but just because the turnaround was so tight, he ended up writing the lyrics himself for Christmas Time Is Here, and it took him 15 minutes.
I don't know exactly how long it is, because I've heard, I was fortunate to know Lee Mendelson, and I heard the story many times. Jason always says it's on the back of a napkin. I thought it was on the back of an envelope or vice versa, but it was very quick. Let's just put it that way.
Maybe he mailed the napkin to himself to protect the copyright.
Yeah.
I just think again that's odd. Like that's one of the most covered songs. Like so many bands have done it. So many so many high school and elementary school choirs have done it.
I know. And anytime you walk into a store at this time of year, you hear Christmas Time Is Here or something from A Charlie Brown Christmas playing.
Yeah, and I remember when doing research for this my very first episode, like there was an interview with Vince where he said like he really wanted to create, like he didn't want to just do hits, like he wanted to do standards, and like almost every track off of this has become like a standard. Like the track Linus and Lucy, which has become synonymous with Peanuts ever since. Not only is that like a standard but it also has become a Christmas song. Like the song specifically doesn't have anything to do with Christmas other than it was in that first special. But now it's like, if you play Christmas music, that song is on. Like even on the radio, where they're not just like playing the whole album. Like they'll just be like, here's a Christmas song, Linus and Lucy.
I know, and yet I hear it every day for every all throughout the year, the time.
We have a theme park near here. Oh, well, you're from the Bay Area. There's a theme park here called Great America where Peanuts characters are. And whenever I go into that area and they're playing Linus and Lucy, I'm like, I don't care that it's July. This counts as a Christmas song to me.
Yes, I grew up going to Great America. I grew up when it was called Marriott's Great America.
Oh, yep, same here. And then it was Paramount's Great America for a while, and now it's just going to be closed soon, Great America.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
Also, this is something from my first episode that I want. I want this to be a better version of my first episode. This is what my first episode should have been. Should have been talking to the expert. Should have been asking the tough questions. I heard that the famous scene where Linus tells Charlie Brown what Christmas is all about.
For unto you was born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger.
There was nervousness from the network that shouldn't be in the Christmas special because it was too religious.
That's correct. There are a few aspects of the special. The jazz soundtrack, the television executives didn't know if that would play, but also the religious reading of the Bible. But Charles Schultz, again, Sparky, felt really adamant that it had to be in there or else he didn't want a Christmas special.
I mean, it feels like, I think I said this in the first episode, if you're watching a Christmas special, you're at least open to the idea of Christianity. Like, it's not necessarily proselytizing or, some sort of, religious movement, but like, you probably are not like, wait, who brought Jesus into the Christmas? Like that it seems like they are connected and it shouldn't be that big a deal. And it seems weird. Like, it feels like that would be more of a hot button today. I'm surprised it was a hot button back then.
I know. Yeah, it was.
And you were talking about how like the network had all sorts of problems with it. And then they, like, right before they released it, they were pretty down on it to the point where even Sparky and Lee Mendelsohn, they were worried, oh, maybe this isn't good. Like they had self-doubt had creeped in like right until the premiere. And then they had the guy from Time Magazine, like they didn't want to show he was supposed to do a screening for him. And the network execs didn't want to, but Lee Mendelsohn said, oh, well, I mean, it's worse if we don't show it to him. So they showed it to him and he left without saying anything. And they were all like, well, that's the kiss of death. And then he wrote this glowing review that airs in Time Magazine like the day before the special airs. And then like, unlike other Christmas things, it was a huge hit.
It was a huge hit. And that was during the time when there were only several networks of TV. So unlike today. So a huge portion of the U.S. population watched the debut of A Charlie Brown Christmas in 1965.
Yeah, like, like It's a Wonderful Life famously flopped when it came out, but then people have grown to love it over the years. And same, like, even Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Was You was a moderate hit when it came out, but it only became a juggernaut later on. But this was a hit from the word go. Like, it was a phenomenon.
Yeah, I think it's a phenomenon for the same reason Peanuts is a phenomenon, is that Sparky figured out a way, or what he created just taps into human emotions. So if you're human, you're going to like Peanuts. If you have feelings, human emotions, you're going to like Peanuts. And I think that's the same for the Christmas special. It just, if you're not human or you're a sociopath or you don't have any feelings, you might not like it.
Oh, and the studio wanted to add a laugh track. Is that true?
Yes, they did. But it again, Charles Schultz was pretty stuck on what he thought was the right thing to do for the special.
And so this year is the 60th anniversary of the special, which is like we've mentioned already. What are the celebrations going to be? Like, what are you guys doing on your end at Peanuts?
Well, a couple weeks ago, we actually celebrated the 60th anniversary at Rockefeller Center when the Christmas tree was delivered to 30 Rock. It was all the plaza was decked out to look like the tree lot from A Charlie Brown Christmas, and there were a lot of fun activities.
Oh.
There's other costume appearances. I shouldn't say Snoopy costume appearances because Snoopy is real. Snoopy will be appearing at different locations around the U.S. to celebrate it. And of course, on social media, we'll be celebrating it as well.
I think it would have been so awesome if for the Rockefeller tree, they put the Charlie Brown tree, like that tiny little, instead of the gigantic fir that they get, if they just put, boop, that's such a bad little tree. It just needs a little love. And then just left it there for the entirety of the Christmas season this year.
We did joke about that when we were meeting with them.
Oh, if they had courage, they would have done it. Because people would be talking about it for years afterwards. Like, remember the time they put the Charlie Brown Christmas tree at Rockefeller Plaza? That was amazing.
Yeah.
And is there any special merch coming out? Because I know people love collectibles and people love just Christmas ornaments and other Christmas decor items.
Oh yeah, I mean you can find seasonal merchandise featuring peanuts in many retailers: Williams Sonoma, Pottery Barn, Target. You can even find Snoopy Charlie Brown Christmas pajamas in places like Kohl's. So you just have to be on the lookout and you'll see it.
But there's no like super special 60th anniversary, limited edition. We only made 5 of them. Good luck finding them, that kind of thing.
I'm trying to think. I don't believe there's a limited edition, but Hallmark is probably featuring some very specialized merchandise for it. But it's hard to disappoint fans by making only 5 of something because everybody wants, a lot of it. So
very true. 5 was I was underselling it. So I would like to ask, what are your thoughts on the legacy of the special 60 years later? How it started versus how it's going, and like how the public has interacted with it over the years. I just want to, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think, again, what Charles Schulz created is something that stands the test of time. And I think part of it is that the Peanuts characters live in their own world and we don't really change it. So you won't see them with a cell phone or an iPad. They're going to always have that dial-up phone that they have in the comic strip. And that's the reason why it doesn't oversaturate, because it is what it is, and people really are drawn to that. But we do have new content on Apple TV that you can see, and there's actually holiday related content as well. So it's sort of fun. But again, they live in their own world. It doesn't change even in the new content, but it just allows people to enjoy Christmas beyond just watching a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah. One specific, very niche part of the legacy is from this podcast. We did an entire year solving the debate once and for all, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And one of the things that came out of that debate was someone said that there is a moment in every Christmas movie that they call the Linus moment. And that's the moment where someone says something to the effect of what Linus did. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. And I wanted to share that with you, that has become, like, the Charlie Brown Christmas has become a litmus test for, is it a Christmas movie or is it a movie that takes place at Christmas?
I can see what you're saying. And I definitely think that the Linus portion, when he says, and that's what Christmas is all about, that is the pinnacle scene in a Charlie Brown Christmas. So I agree with you. However, I know you're going to tell me that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie based on that criteria, but I think it is.
Actually, we decided it was, and someone found a way to make the part where the argument was that where Bruce Willis is sort of planning to sacrifice himself for his family is the Linus moment of that movie. Like, that's what I'm saving Christmas.
Okay, good.
I'm glad I was like, I probably should have asked beforehand where you were going to fall on that debate.
Yeah, no, I'm following on. It's a Christmas movie.
There's these accounts on Facebook that seem to be just devoted to movie misinformation. Like, they use AI to make posters for upcoming movies that are not upcoming, and I don't know what the point is. Like, I don't know what they get out of it. Like, I've seen several, like Santa Claus 4 with Tim Allen, that is clearly like a poster. But anyway, I saw one of those accounts. I believe it to be one of those accounts, so I'm going straight to the source to find out if this is a lie or not. I'm pretty sure it is, that they were going to take the audio from a Charlie Brown Christmas and make it into a CG cartoon.
No, it's not true.
I was like, that doesn't sound like them.
No, a Charlie Brown Christmas will remain a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yes, as it should.
Yeah.
For all the people who I feel like a lot of my listeners, like, they may have seen that. Like, don't follow it. Let's debunk that right now.
Yeah, you can debunk that.
And also I wanted to ask, because like I said, I've enjoyed your podcast, You Don't Know Peanuts. Is there anything coming up on that show that we should be aware of?
Well, the latest episode we did was about a Charlie Brown Christmas carved in ice.
Yes.
So that is really fun, is that the Gaylord Hotel chain here in the U.S. brings in ice carvers from Harbin, China every year to carve a life-size Charlie Brown Christmas that you can walk through. It's very cold.
I was about to say, is it cold?
It's very cold. In fact, if you listen to the episode on You Don't Know Peanuts, I repeat how cold I was when I went to ice. But it's so amazing to immerse yourself into a Charlie Brown Christmas with these life-size ice carvings.
Yeah, and then like and the way he was talking about like the audio cues and other things that are like the show. It's not just like stare at a block of ice. Like there is showmanship and lighting and all sorts of storytelling essentially with ice. It just sounds very amazing. Although as you said, it did sound like it was cold. You did mention that at least once.
It's very cold, but they offer you free parkas and gloves when you check in. So.
Well, that is awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today, and so we could celebrate the 60th anniversary of A Charlie Brown Christmas. Again, the podcast is You Don't Know Peanuts. The woman is Melissa Menta, the Senior VP of Global Brand Communications for Peanuts. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
The Christmas cave.
Yes, thank you for hanging out in the Christmas cave.
Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown! Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy.
And that's our show. Thanks once again to Melissa Menta for joining us to talk about A Charlie Brown Christmas. Remember, she is the host of the only official Peanuts podcast, the You Don't Know Peanuts podcast, and that latest episode about how they created Charlie Brown Christmas with ice is a great one. You should give it a listen. And speaking of things you should listen to, come right back here tomorrow for Act 4 of our made-for-podcast Christmas movie, A Bomb for Christmas 2, Past, Present, and Future. If you haven't heard the first 3 acts, they are still available on the feed, so go check them out. Now, I gotta get back to editing, so until next time, you believers, keep laughing all the way.
And that was Christmas 1983.
Actually, Dad, it's 2025.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us at Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, aka iTunes, and email us about it at christmas@tancast.com, we'll send you a free Can't Wait for Christmas sticker. If you'd like to see the show notes or leave a comment on this or any other episodes, you can go to our official website, can'twaitforchristmaspod.com. While you're there, you'll find a link to our official Zazzle store, where you can grab customizable t-shirts, ornaments, stickers, and all sorts of other Christmas-themed items all year long. We'd love to connect with you on social media. On Blue Sky, we are at Christmas Pod, and on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, we are at Can't Wait for Christmas Pod. We Wish You a Merry Christmas was performed by the United States Marine Corps Band, and this amazing version of Jingle Bells on the accordion was performed by the wonderful and talented Christian Nowicki. All other music and sounds used in this episode are the properties of their individual copyright holders, and they are used for purposes of commentary and review. No infringement is intended. Okay, boys, did I forget anything?
God bless us, everyone.
Merry Christmas!
But my youngest had an idea for a Christmas-themed playdate that we did just the other weekend that went pretty well. Why'd my voice go so high? It really did go well. I think I need to retake that, because it makes it, the way I went well, it makes it sound like it didn't. It did.
Hello. I am a human.
Thanks for clearing that up.
So are you, probably.
More than likely. If you're listening to this, you're a human. If you're understanding it, you definitely are.
I see you gnomes out there.
And how long ago was that?
I think it was last Saturday.
Was it just last Saturday?
I think it was.
Seems like it was forever ago. I guess you're right. So it's been a week and you still haven't eaten your gingerbread house. Back in July of 2022, listener Bob sent in a list of topical Christmas songs. Apply them directly to the burn. I was looking into his background because I love the most wonderful time of the year and happy holidays / holiday season. And I wanted to see, do I say the / out loud? It doesn't seem right. Or drop a comment on the website or our that is a hard turn of sounds.
For shipping to lower, what does that mean?
What?
What does for shipping to lower mean?
For shipping to, the lower 48 states.
Oh.
Michael caught a typo, everybody.
International shipping has different deadlines too, and there will be a link to the UPS holiday shipping deadlines, darn it.
You're right, you're relaxed. It's not like...
We're live right now.
We're live! Yeah, I never mess up.
You're fired.
So you should do it exactly like me, where I never, ever mess up. Anything else you want to say to the listeners?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you, sir. I am terrible at doing intros on the fly, so I will probably rewrite the intro better, but I will just sort of fumble through something so we can get started.
Sure.
Oh, and so just so it's set out, I refer to this as the Christmas cave, and that's why I'm going to say that in a second.
Okay, cool.
Are there any plans? Like what are? Let me say what are 3 more times. And speaking of things you should listen to, come right back here tomorrow for Act 4 of our Made for Podcast Christmas movie. I'm out of air.